Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the channel. I know this is probably a little bit late, because this probably should have been done a few days ago, but I have had a very, very busy week at work, and I've just got some time off. I'm going on holiday next week, so you probably won't see too many videos of me. I'm going to try and upload some gameplay footage. Might not be like super insightful commentary. I'm going to try and just capture myself playing some games today. Just so there is some content on the channel. I kind of don't, I know it sounds ironic coming from me, but I don't want to leave it dead for like a whole week when I'm on holiday. But yeah, anyway, patch 3.1b tier list. I know there's going to be another patch coming relatively soon. This is a longer patch cycle, I believe, so we have a bit more time, which is why I wanted to take some more time to kind of really understand the meta before doing this. And of course, thanks to G2A sponsoring the channel. There is a reference link in the description below. So, I'm going to get straight into it. If you want a longer tier list to talk about why most of the champions are in their certain roles, feel free to check out the last one that I did. That was an hour long, and I talked about lots of the champions and why they are where they are. I'm not going to do that on every single tier list because a lot of the champions haven't changed. So, I'm really going to talk about the big movers and shakers on this recent patch. Start with the Baron lane. Despite Fiora's nerf, I don't think she is quite as unbelievably good as she was before, by the way. So something to take into account. I really did believe Fiora was by far and away the best Baron laner you could pick in the game before. I still think that she's a really good Baron laner. I just think she's a lot worse than she was. She's still S+ tier, but she has more room to counter her. And I think she doesn't quite feel quite as obnoxious to play against in lane because a lot of champions can now actually get in range when she lunges to try and punish her and, you know, take a fight. So I still think Fiora is really good. I just don't think she is as strong as she was. In my opinion, the three best Baron laners are Darius, Sett, and Fiora. I think the reason I like these three is that they all are super strong throughout the game. They all have very, very decent lane matchups. There are only a few lane matchups that both Darius, Sett, and Fiora struggle with, but in general, they all have really strong lane matchups, and they all are pretty good influencing the game. So I think these three are like the strongest, in my opinion, overall. I think there is a case that we could move Camille up, and maybe I should. I think Camille is also a really strong Baron laner right now if you can play her correctly, and she can technically counter most of these Baron laners if played right. So I'm going to move Fiora up, but, you know, I think Fiora is also really strong in the current meta too. So, S tier, I think right now, the only thing that you're going to notice that I've moved down is, I think I moved down Jace, because Jace doesn't feel quite as good as he used to, but I've moved him down because I just think, oh, sorry. That was a horrible yawn. I apologize, guys. I moved Jace down because I don't think he's as strong as he used to be. But these guys in S tier are all really good as well. Riven, Renekton, Gragas, you can play him AP. I would not recommend playing tank Gragas right now. I think AP Gragas in general is significantly stronger. Garen and Graves, I'd say Graves is still a little bit, you know, sort of, you have to be the right player to play him correctly, but he's there. I've put Akali in. I know that some people were complaining that I didn't have Akali in the Baron lane tier list last time. She is firmly A tier. I don't think she has many good Baron lane matchups, but she's still pretty decent. And Shen hasn't moved anywhere realistically. Overall, though, this is relatively unchanged. I've just mostly changed the top end because we had some changes to Sett and Fiora, although those changes to Sett, in my opinion, don't massively make him worse. Neither do the changes to Darius, in my opinion, make him much worse. I think they're all still really strong. However, I would add they're a bit more balanced now. Okay, there isn't actually a huge number of changes in the jungle. I'm going to go through the major one. And the one thing that you're going to notice is that there is a new face in S+ tier. Call this personal bias because I am absolutely playing the crap out of Evelynn. But Evelynn is unbelievably good in solo queue. What's really interesting is that she's always been unbelievably good in solo queue. I think you just don't always 100% realize it unless you're playing that role. But yeah, playing jungle, I can tell you that Evelynn is by far and away one of the best junglers in the game right now, especially in solo queue. What I'd say about Evelynn is that you don't need to gank all the time, even though Evelynn is a good ganker post 5. One of the great things about Evelynn is if you can just farm, if you just farm jungle camps, kind of ignore your team for the most part, and get to like Rabadon's Death Cap, Lich Bane, and Infinity Orb, you can basically one-shot anyone in the game, especially the really important carries like the AD carry and the mages in the mid lane. Evelynn can do that, and realistically, if you just play your positioning correctly, or you have your proto belt and flash up, you can single-handedly win games. Even if your team is doing crap, all you need to do in a team fight is blow up their AD carry, and suddenly things are looking a lot better. So I think Evelynn she has a really solid win condition in the game, and it's very much around her item spikes, and so you can really play like a farming Evelynn to win. The only changes that you're going to see here on S tier is that I've moved Master Yi and Fiora down. I don't think Master Yi is as good as he was. Certainly doesn't feel as strong as he was with the changes on patch 3.1b, and of course with the Fiora nerfs, slightly worse in the jungle than before. I've put Jinx jungle in. So I've been seeing this quite a lot at like high diamond and master tier. Some people are playing a Jinx jungle. I don't know why they're playing Jinx jungle. It's working. And I just think that Jinx right now seems to be in a really strong spot, that people are playing her in multiple roles. I've had Jinx Baron laners. I'm not going to put her in because I haven't seen it as much, but I've definitely seen Jinx jungles. And I'm seeing Jinx AD carry in almost every game that I play. So I think I'm putting Jinx jungle in here just because it has been something that I've seen. I would not recommend that you play it unless you are a specialist. And I think the people that I've seen playing Jinx jungle at high elo are specialist players. But overall, the major players that you need to be aware of is like Evelynn's moved up to S+ tier. I think AP Gragas, by the way, is super strong in the jungle as well. And my four junglers of choice are Kha'Zix, Xin Zhao, Gragas, and Evelynn. I'm not a good Lee Sin player, so I don't generally tend to pick him. But these four here are generally my go-to junglers in the meta right now, and I think they are the strongest, you know, really across the board. Okay, middle lane. So I've had some small changes here. I've moved Orianna to S+. I think she's pretty strong right now. I think she's really safe as well. I've moved Ahri down. I think there was a little bit of a love affair with Ahri last patch, but I think realistically I probably overstated how good she was. I don't think she's that good. I've also moved Karma down to A tier. I think Karma is significantly better in support, and actually AP Karma feels a little underwhelming in terms of damage output. I have moved Lucian up though, because I think Lucian is really good, and I think was probably a little underrated in A tier. But other than that, there are actually no major changes, and those are the big movers from the last patch. I do still love Galio, by the way. I've played him quite a bit in mid lane recently. I still think he's pretty strong. Dragon lane. I actually realized this is going to be a super short tier list video, and I'm sorry that it's shorter than usual, but I have to get packed for holiday. So you're getting like a quick fire guide, a quick fire tier list, but feel free to like screenshot and, you know, take a picture or whatever just to sort of have it for reference. So in the AD carry tier list, the Dragon lane tier list, I've moved Draven down to A tier. I don't think he's as strong as I maybe stated. I have moved Lucian up to S tier because I do think he's strong on the current patch. Do I think Jhin? I think Jin's still fine. I don't know if I want to move Jhin down to A tier. I just don't really see him get played as much recently, but he's fine. I've moved Xayah down to S tier, even though I know people like Doom think she's S+. I would say probably more so in competitive, where her ultimate is going to provide much more value. I think that does have value in solo queue, but team coordination doesn't always result in you getting a huge or a great outcome out of using the Xayah ultimate. But realistically, I think that she's not as strong in solo queue as some of these picks here. I've put Jinx in S+ tier. I see her in almost every game. I honestly see her in almost every game. She has one of the highest pick rates in the game, and she just seems to be in a really strong spot right now. So I think Jinx is really good, and I'm going to keep her up in S+ tier, despite her not being paired with Lulu. She gets paired with anybody right now, and she seems to be in a really strong spot. Other than that, your AD carry tier list hasn't changed a massive amount. And finally, on to supports. You might think I've got a lot of S+ tier supports here, and you would be correct. But I think all of these supports are really good. And Yuumi is really strong on this patch. Like, trust me, Yuumi is giga broken. She's super good. Karma is great still, and these three like heavy engaged supports that I really like, all like I think some of the best supports that you can pick. Lulu is strong with certain picks. Nami is still good. Braum and Janna, Sona, still kind of a solid solo queue pick. I think that last, maybe week and a half ago, everyone was kind of raving about Sona, and people have kind of let her drop off a little bit. But other than that, no major changes in the support pool, in my opinion. A lot more people are playing Senna now. You could maybe make a case of making Senna go up to S tier, but I still think it's very comp dependent. And, you know, drafting Senna as a support when you already have a lot of squishies on your team can often just result in an automatic loss. So you just got to be careful when you draft Senna support. But that's the tier list. 10 minutes, bang and done. I know it was a quick one, guys, but like I said, going on holiday, so trying to get a lot sorted. I hope you guys enjoy this patch, and I'll see you for the next one.